Hello everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to talk about two tarot books that might be useful for people who are interested in finding out more about the Marseille tarot and would like to know about a couple of books where they don't feel overwhelmed by too much information, and books that would be good starting points to find out more about it. So the two books I've got, the first one is called The Authentic Tarot by Thomas Saunders, and this is just a good paperback book. It is a very good book for finding out about the Marseille tarot and how to use it. It's also written from an interesting perspective. It includes the psychological perspective as well, and it's got a lot of colour pictures in here of the cards. For example, it's got the major arcana pictures here in the middle, and it's got some of the court cards as well. And this is published by Watkins Publishing, who are a very good publishing company. I really like their books, I find them very good. And it's got here The Authentic Tarot, Discovering Your Inner Self. So it's a really good book because it does mention and talks about the Marseille tarot from a psychological perspective, which a lot of Marseille tarot books don't necessarily do. This one is not too heavy on the historical background of the Marseille tarot. Some people don't want too much of that. Some people would like to learn about the Marseille tarot and how they can actually use it as a tarot deck. So it's really good in that way, the way it's been written. And it's not a very expensive book. I think it's still in print. If it isn't, you'd be able to pick it up at a really good price on Amazon. It was not an expensive book to buy in the first place. So that's The Authentic Tarot by Thomas Saunders. And the next book is probably better known, and that is The Open Reading by Yoav Ben-Dov. And this is a great book because I actually think it's as good as the other book. This book is well known and more popular because this was published in the last 4 years. It's also really good in the way that it approaches Marseille tarot with simple spreads. A lot of them are 3-card spreads. And I wanted to mention that also about this book as well. This book as well looks at it from simple card spreads as well, from 1 to 3 cards, which I think is a really good idea. I think it's a good idea to simplify tarot anyway, but especially when you're learning with a new type of system, which is the Marseille. So this one also is really talking about 3-card spreads, and I think this is the best book that Yoav Ben-Dov has written. He has written another Marseille book that is around currently, but I prefer this book. I like the way it's set out. I like his descriptions of the cards. And I also like the way he gives a description of the difference between the French school of tarot and the English school of tarot, and that he just devotes a page to each. But it's a good idea to point that out because a lot of people aren't aware that there is a difference in the two systems. So that this is a great book. And this book also looks at the Marseille from a psychological perspective as well. And when I'm saying a psychological perspective, I don't mean a completely psychological perspective where there's psychological terms used or there's too much of an emphasis on the psychological. There is a spiritual or esoteric angle and approach that is taken as well. It's more of a combination of the two, and it's also the same in this with this one as well. There is the mention of the esoteric symbolism and the esoteric value of the Marseille, and really in both of them. But I just think both of these books are great for people who want to know about the Marseille and don't want to feel too overwhelmed when they're finding out about it, and just want to slowly explore the Marseille deck so that they don't feel that it's too different or too entrenched from a historical perspective, so that they will feel that it is accessible to them. And this book was actually self-published by Yoav Ben-Dov, but it was printed or is printed by Create Space, which is an Amazon branch. So this is easy to get, probably through Amazon, I would think, but I bought this from an ordinary retail store anyway. So I wanted to tell you about these two books for people who are interested in the Marseille Tarot and looking at it for the first time and wanting to explore the Marseille system. So I'll put these details at the bottom of the video, and I hope that will be helpful for people. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.